hope you're all doing well, healthy, and not concerned about the end of the school year. I'm not. Anyway, uh, seems a good time to take a look at this poem by W.H. Auden. It is called If I Could Tell You. If I Could Tell You by W.H. Auden. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Time only knows the price we have to pay. If I could tell you, I would let you know. If we should weep when clowns put on their show, if we should stumble when musicians play, time will say nothing, but I told you so. There are no fortunes to be told, although, because I love you more than I can say, if I could tell you, I would let you know. The winds must come from somewhere when they blow. There must be reason why the leaves decay. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Perhaps the roses really want to grow. The vision seriously intends to stay. If I could tell you, I would let you know. Suppose the lions all get up and go, and the brooks and soldiers run away. Will time say nothing, but I told you so? If I could tell you, I would let you know. Okay, this poem is called A Villanelle, which is a specific kind of poem. As you probably noticed, it's pretty structured. There are 5 tercets, which of course are 3-line stanzas, followed by 1 quatrain. There's a pretty strict rhyme scheme. It kind of looks like this. A1, B, A2, AB, AB, blah, 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 right? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense when it's on the screen like that, so let's match it up with the poem itself. So you can see here, there's the A1, which is the first line of the poem, time will say nothing but I told you so. And that's repeated at the beginning of the first stanza. It's at the last line of the second and fourth stanzas, and the next to last line of the last stanza. And then if I could tell you, I would let you know is repeated here throughout. See, and then obviously the A's still rhyme and the B's still rhyme. All right, so let's take a look at what this poem is about. Take a look at these first 2 lines. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Time only knows the price we have to pay. So you notice that time is being personified. It's an observer, right? It doesn't really do anything. It just watches and says nothing, but I told you so. So the speaker then perceives it as kind of cold and unfeeling. You notice here the alliteration of price and pay. There's not a whole lot of alliteration in this poem, so we should pay attention when it shows up. Time only knows the price we have to pay, which would, make us ask, what price is it? And this is oftentimes when we talk about time, it's death, but perhaps it's something else. It's an interpretation. I actually appreciate that it's something else, but we'll get to that a little later on. We get the last line of the first stanza, and we see the speakers in first person as speaking to someone, you, whoever you is. Time only knows the price we have to pay, so you and I, the speaker, and the person being spoken to are kind of in the same boat. But the speaker is kind, but also helpless, right? I would tell you if I could. And so the speaker doesn't really have the ability to change what's going on. We look at the next lines. We get a juxtaposition of clowns and musicians, and if we have kind of opposite reactions, right? If we weep when clowns are there and we stumble when musicians play, and things don't work out necessarily the way we expect, and if that's the case, time is no solace. Time will say nothing, but I told you so. Time doesn't get in the way. It just kind of reflects back. The next stanza, the speaker's kindness and helplessness is repeated. And it's important to notice, though, that this doesn't have any metaphors in it, unlike many of the other stanzas, like the clowns and the musicians. Here, there are no fortunes to be told, although, because I love you more than I can say. If I could tell you, I would let you know. But we can't know what's going to happen. And the speaker has this kindness still. I love you more than I can say. But the helplessness is kind of repeated. This love part is, there are a couple ways we can look at it. It's either kind of this speaker speaking to people in general, and I love you in general more than I can say, right? I love you all, but I can't do anything to help you out. Or it's more specific, it's a specific speaker speaking to a specific person. And if we take that interpretation, which I happen to like, the fortunes are about what will happen to them. Only time knows the price we have to pay. What will happen to them? It might not turn out the way we want it to. And because I love you more than I can say, if I could tell you, I would let you know. I would tell you how this all works. If I could, because I love you. All right, let's take a look at the next stanza. Here we see the lines "leaves decay," right? We have some nature imagery here. Winds come from somewhere when they blow. There must be a reason why the leaves decay. Which this imagery implies death and dying. There must be a reason that things end. There must be a reason that the winds come where they were for change. Time ultimately, though, isn't responsible for it and does not care. Time doesn't have anything to do with it other than telling you that that's what happened. But this is contrasted with the next stanza. We have the juxtaposition of imagery here. Here we have the roses that really want to grow, which we get from decaying in the stanza to growth. We really get this earnestness of the speaker, but maybe things end. There's a reason things end, but maybe things really do want to grow. Roses are often a flower that we associate with love. So, perhaps it's like that. The vision seriously intends to stay. If I could tell you, maybe this relationship will work out and we'll be able to be together. We get to the last stanza. Suppose the lions all get up and go, and the brooks and soldiers run away, which is kind of an odd thing. The lions all get up and go. I think this is reference to lions like in a zoo. The lions having the courage to get up and leave, and bravery, and the brooks and soldiers run away. Soldiers running away is kind of that cowardice. In brooks as in, the small streams, right? As they run away, as time goes on, soldiers run away. Suppose it happens, right? Suppose there is bravery, and suppose there is cowardice. Will time say nothing but I told you so? If I could tell you, I would let you know. We can be brave or we can be cowards. Will it all turn out well? I wish I knew. If you do a little research on W.H. Auden, he was a poet in the early 20th century, and this was a time when it was not, it was neither easy nor legal to be homosexual. And one could choose to read this poem that way, that this poem is in some ways a poem to, from a man to his lover, trying to tell him, if I could tell you how this would all turn out, I would let you, that if we want to go through with it, though, we need to be brave. And I think that's really an interesting way to read the poem, a way that I kind of like to read the poem. Anyway, that's kind of what we have. For a intensely structured poem like this one, I actually really appreciate it. So that's our Poetry Tuesday for today. I know you're all concerned about how the school year is going to end. Will time say nothing but I told you so? If I could tell you, I would let you know. So long till later.